Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of Legal Shit, where we break down all things legal. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning here in downtown West Palm Beach. I'm here with Antoinette.
Hi, guys.
And we have a special guest, Katrina from Katrina's Boutique here in West Palm Beach. And so we're going to be talking.
Welcome, Katrina.
Hi, Katrina. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Man, glad to have you on the beautiful Saturday morning. The green market's going on. You guys just walked outside and checked that out.
Yeah.
How was it?
It is. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It says exactly what it is. The biggest green market in West Palm Beach or in Florida, right?
I think they said
Number
one of the best, one of the largest or number one in the country, I think.
We
I
were
saw
elbow
something.
to elbow with everyone.
Yeah. And Katrina bought me a little flower while she was out. So thank you very much. So
Can't resist the flowers.
yeah,
Can't
thank you
resist
very
the
much.
flowers.
we'll give her a little applause. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? Today I'm going to talk a little bit about contracts. Boring. Everyone's going to say contracts. Boring.
It's annoying.
I know. One of the
overwhelming.
problems, but one of the problems is that contracts are such a part of our lives. There's so many different types of contracts you enter into, whether you're an individual, a business, a small business owner. There's always contracts, and sometimes you don't even realize that you're entering into a contract. A lot of times when you go online and you buy things, you'll see at the bottom they have to check a box that says I agree to all the terms and conditions. And what you're doing is you're forming a written contract. Nobody reads the terms and conditions because they're usually like 4 and 5 pages of small print.
Yeah, and if you're like me that reads slow, it's like I want to fall asleep every time I'm reading this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that and just kind of get a little bit of an understanding as to what contracts are and how they're formed and what are the dangers and things like that. But first, Katrina, let's hear from you. What do you tell us a little bit about? Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your boutique.
So my name is Katrina. I'm new in town. I just recently moved here about 6 months ago, and we have a beautiful, beautiful boutique for men and women.
Wait, rewind. How did you even get into being a part of a boutique? Or the category of
Microphone.
I got pushed over.
Microphone.
Yeah. I want to hear a little bit about you before we,
Yeah. So
just a brief. Don't tell people everything because these people are nosy. Don't be so nosy.
So I've been doing that, I guess, for the retail business. I've been doing that for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And it's always been my passion. I always done it for different boutiques, different stores. I also work for different high-end brands like Rolex, Cartier, and different designers. And I like luxury styles. I like dress beautiful and make people feel great about themselves, and be helpful.
She does that for me. She helps me. She motivates me every time I see her get dressed. I'm like, come on.
That's it's all about. Yeah. It's all about experience. And the end of the day, it's everything they end up to be experience. And that's kind of the idea of the boutique. We want everybody to look good and feel good and have a great experience.
Fabulous. And where's your boutique located?
300 Clematis. It's 103 South Olive Avenue, West Palm Beach.
Gotcha.
I always tell people it's across the street from Nico's Pizza. So if you know, Nico's Pizza has been around for so long, and Duffy's is right there. She's on the other side.
On the other south side of Clematis.
South side, yeah.
Right, southwest side of Clematis.
So I'll tell one story that she because I was like, I don't want to always wear all my clothes. She was like, girl, wear your clothes. Because I'm like, I bought it, I want to save it. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what am I saving it for? But it's like, it's so pretty, it's so nice. I don't want to wear it yet. She's like, wear all your clothes. Wear your clothes.
Don't wait for the occasion. Yeah. I always tell for my clients, you don't need a special occasion. You don't need a special day. You don't need your birthday to look great. When we look great, we feel great. Yeah. The husbands are happy. The whole family is happy.
Yeah.
So women, we happy as we look. If we look good, it's totally make the day.
Gotcha. All right. So contracts.
Yeah, those things right there.
Yeah. A lot of people ask, well, I will tell you as an attorney, and I do business commercial litigation, most of my cases involve something to do with a contract, an interpretation of a contract. Someone wants to interpret it one way. There's a dispute over the terms of a contract, things of that nature. So it's really interesting, and it's good to know that if you have a little knowledge, you know how to get around some of these things. But how's a contract formed?
Good question, Katrina.
Well, they teach us in law school.
Yeah.
There is an offer, there's an acceptance, and then there's consideration. Those are the three main terms: offer, acceptance, and consideration. That means, Katrina, I say I want to sell you. Well, you say I want to sell you my dress, and hopefully not for me, but anyway.
But she also sells men's clothes.
That's right. You have men's clothing as well. Okay, but
nice quality too.
You make an offer. I'll sell you these pair of pants, and I'll say I'd like to buy your pair of pants, and I'm willing to pay the $100. So now we have an offer, we have an acceptance. Basically, I'll pay the $100, and the consideration is the $100, the thing of value. So that forms basically a contract.
Yeah, we're listening. You're the one that knows. Yeah.
I don't know
the
much,
but
of the I'm just a dumb lawyer.
There is a verbal contract and there is a written contract, and the verbal it's part of the legal written contract. And from my perspective, if I may, you need to be very, very careful every time you getting to the verbal contract. And here's the tricky part: when it's go on the paper, is not always what it's been said in words.
I can't wait for her to tell some of her stories about that.
No, that's very true. There's written contracts that we're all familiar with. When you buy a house, you enter into a purchase and sale contract. When you lease or buy a car, another contract. Every time you open up a credit card, believe it or not, you're entering into a contract with the credit card company. And it's all that fine print that no one ever reads. When you get a loan, you get a mortgage. There's there's so many different types of contracts, but there's written contracts, and then there's oral contracts, and oral contracts become much more problematic because then it becomes a he said, she said issue. This is what we agreed to. And one person says no, and the other person says yes. And so you've got a dispute. So now you have to determine, is there even a contract? Because another issue with contract formation is, was there a meeting of the minds? Did the two people have the same intent?
And that always happens to me. It's like I know what I'm talking about. They know what they're talking about. They come in, and I've been so many times been manipulated and tricked when it's time to get paid. That's where it comes in. Oh, we're going to pay you this, and you do this. And then when it's time to get paid, oh, no, that's not what we meant.
Yeah. Or that's not what you said.
Yeah.
And so,
and it's like, did I really say that? Or did I, you're confused. Like, okay, wait.
Maybe I didn't say it.
Yeah. Because then there's I want to say narcissists, or the people who are very quick with the tongue and manipulative. They will trick you out of or confuse you from what you said. So now I just stick with the contracts. I stick with the paper. If it's on the paper, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And you get into a lot of tricky issues, like when people are bargaining online. Like these days, a lot of times people are buying like cars online.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the dealership and you're writing back and forth to a salesman. And then all of a sudden something happens and the salesman's basically saying, wait, we had a contract. And you said, oh, I didn't have a contract. So now it becomes, was there a contract formed? And that gets a little tricky when it's not actually signed in writing. It's just emails going back and forth.
And you can't hire a lawyer for that.
No, you could.
Well, if it's written, but if it's verbal and there's nothing on paper, no. Katrina, has that anything like that ever happened to you?
I feel like it's way too many times for me to count.
I know. As a business owner, how do you feel? I mean, what? Breathe and answer the question. How do you feel when someone has a verbal contract with you and then they break it?
Listen, it's always painful, and this time it's not feelings hurt. It's gonna be pocket hurt, because once you understand, it's all about the business. So once we get into the contract, it's very important, because your expectation, you have X amount time to meet the expectation, financial one. And then when it's the confusion, then it hits you and bring you not necessary struggles. Yeah. So that was the first business I opened. And for someone, I'm going to give you guys the insight if someone never done it, because when I first started to call the landlords and their realtors, and I didn't know how to negotiate it. Yeah. I did not know what to say, how to present myself, what to say. I knew I have a skills to negotiate, and I knew I know what I'm doing as running the business. But the beginning and all the organization, I was completely new. So what I can advise, when you're in this space, it's normally go three ways. There is always, for someone never done it, and I hope it's helpful, there is always option to negotiate free X amount of the free rent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if the place is raw, and in the fairy tale, you want to think like, okay, I'm doing the business, I'm walking in, and everything just prepared for me.
Yeah.
The reality is not always the fairy tale. You need to do the plumbing, you need to do electrician, and it's involving a lot of adjustment to your business needs. So it's when you walk into the place, and it's obviously need to be remodeled for your needs. There is a ways for the new business owners I can recommend. You can negotiate the free time for the rent until you organize the place. Sometimes landlord can give you, for example, $30,000 for the improvement, which is great to know. Or, and this option will be the most tricky one, they can go and tell you, I'll do it. I'll do the construction. And I'm saying tricky, and here's why. So when they wanted to do the place for you, they're gonna use cheapest material, cheapest labor, cheapest, and it's not even about that. I'm fine with as long as it look fine, but it's the time frame. If you do it by yourself, I feel like you can
quickly get it done.
Exactly.
If you have right contractors and
you bring the people to work on a Monday till a Saturday and Sunday. If it's for them, it's every holiday, 4 hours. They don't start on the time, they don't finish on time, and they take a couple days.
And the 2 months or whatever that you're still paying the rent.
Yeah.
Well, normally you're not always paying the rent, but here's the tricky. It's very dependent when you open the business. And for people who open the business, if I may, so the most important time of the year, it's November till I would say May. And if you lose this time, it's going to be much harder for you to recover. It's going to be much harder for you to meet the people, because this is the most precious time of the year.
Yeah,
and
it's a season.
Yeah, and I signed the contract in November, end of November, which I already like, oh my God, it's gonna be now November, Thanksgiving, it's gonna be everything can delay.
Yeah. No.
So I was rushing, and all my friends tell me, Katrina.
Wait, so how fast did you get your place together?
My part, I put it in 9 days.
Wow.
I know, I was shocked.
Wow.
In 9 days.
But what I've noticed, she has the eye for the retail. She's been in the business for so long. She has the eye for the retail, how to organize it, where to balance it, and the connections, which is really good.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was lucky to have right people around me to navigate me. It's go like so complicated. Payroll system, bags, like all the things we don't think about it. I was very lucky. I got my guardian angel. He's my friend. He's best friend of my best friend. And I meet amazing people on Clematis who's supporting and introducing. And
I mean, we do not have a boutique properly on Clematis, other than, we have the fitness place. But just to have some nice dresses and all these different things, it's nice to have another one on Clematis, because then more people will show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have something to do, especially the women that they could be shopping around buying stuff for their kids, for their family. Meanwhile, they come and grab something to drink. And we do not have a lot of those opportunities down here.
So, Katrina, you're talking about a commercial lease, which is what a lot of, or most of the businesses, or all the businesses here are usually under, unless you own the place. Did you read the entire lease before you signed it, or?
So
or did you have someone review
I'm very
it?
slow reader. I'm like Antoinette. I'm very slow reader. She's falling asleep, and I'm like, I don't understand what I'm reading. Obviously, English is not my first, neither second or third. That's my third language. So I will recommend always hire the lawyer.
Yes.
And do the reading. And my lawyer points for the best part of the contract. And here's the verbal part coming. I say, no, do not worry. I trust the guy. We agreed.
Wow.
He say 1, 2, 3, and I trust him.
Yep. Okay.
Don't tell everything.
No. And I won't say it. I won't say it.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many times I've said to my client, why did you sign that? Like, what, did you read it? I looked it over. No, you didn't read it.
We're hoping everyone has our best interest at hand. That's what we're hoping for.
They do, but when you're entering into contracts, what everyone needs to know is that a contract is a legally binding document.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow the terms, if you breach any of the terms, and if you don't know all the terms, you can possibly breach without even knowing it.
Just like me losing my Facebook page.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother
That's
whole
a
nother
contract
episode.
I didn't even know about.
That's
but go ahead. Or I didn't read the entire thing, because who thinks to read the Facebook contract?
Well, that's what I said before.
That's so sad.
Is that when you have social media contacts or contracts, you have agreements with all these different social media outlets, and no one goes in and downloads the 15 pages of terms and conditions in like 8-point type. Very few people do. I do, unfortunately.
That's why I send all my paperwork to him.
Yeah, there you go. No, I mean, I have a case now, or possible case, where the husband and wife, or the wife, had her mother and father put into a nursing home. They both needed care, and the rent was X, and in 12 months now the rent is Y, and it's like $3,000 more a month.
Wow.
And
this is why I moved.
And you know,
3,000, 6,000. I was like,
yeah,
I can do it.
And they were like, wait a minute, you told us that the rent was only going to go up 7% each year. And the client showed me the email. See, it says 7%. I said, but it's not in your contract. It doesn't say that. And then there's a dispute as to, well, the contract was for rental contract, in other words, or accommodation contract. In other words, what the nursing home is saying is, oh, that doesn't include the cost of care. That's just the cost of the room. So, but it's all messed up, the whole thing. So these are the types of disputes, because now the wife and her husband are saying one thing, and then the nursing home saying, no, that's not the way it is. We didn't agree to that. So
very tricky, very tricky.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, so when I had my place in Vernia, COVID hit. So now everyone's price, they want to raise their price. My price was like $3,000 something, which, you know, it's not close to clematis. So it's not, it's expensive, but it's not as what when you're close to clematis like you. But then in the process, he wanted us to verbally say, we'll give him extra money when his taxes didn't change. None of his information on I was in a 5-year lease. Nothing changed. And then Tim did the research, or Mr. Schulz did the research.
I've been called worse, no problem.
The taxes didn't change. The cost of living for them didn't change.
The taxes actually went down. Yeah,
it went down. And he's like pleading with me to pay more on the rent, just because everyone, the square foot is more for around the area.
He was saying that his costs have gone up and therefore we should pay him more. And my retort was, no, we have a lease.
We have a 5-year lease, which he couldn't change it. So it wasn't verbal, but he wanted us to verbally say, we'll pay more.
Yeah. So
why would I pay more on rent?
Right. Just voluntarily. Especially when your costs went down.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and his costs went down. I think they own the properties.
Yeah.
Well, now I've moved out and they're still not rented. Sorry, that's my thing. I'm sad. If you ever saw my location, it was so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we've had conversations, myself and colleagues of mine. We could never understand why landlords will let someone leave because of a rent dispute.
Yeah.
And then let it sit empty the space sit empty for years, and they're losing all that income. I wish someone could explain it to me. I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Well, hopefully, you can find another person that knows. But that's not your part.
Maybe there's some tax benefit or something like that. I just don't know. I really don't. I've always wondered that. I mean, we live above a restaurant, and next door to the restaurant,
we live above Pistache. That's our favorite restaurant.
That's right. And next door to Pistache
one of our favorite
was a World of Beer.
Yeah.
And they've been out of that space for I think at least 6 years, maybe 7 or 8 years. And it's sat empty for all of that time. And
it's still empty right now, right?
It's still empty, yeah. I don't see any.
Well, they may own it. Whoever owns it doesn't care.
Well, no, I think Florida Crystals owns the whole building. But
that's nice.
They've got a few bucks. But anyway, in talking about contracts, my advice is read your contract, especially if it involves the repayment of money or leasing a space, because a lot of times, a lot of landlords require now people to also sign personally as a personal guarantor.
Yeah.
Because what happened for many years is, people let the business go bankrupt and there's nothing to go after.
Yeah.
So now people want you to sign a personal guarantee, but you need to know all of the terms. So if you're getting involved in a contract and you have time, read the whole thing. I always suggest to my clients, if you're going to get into a contract, ask for a copy of it a day or two in advance so you can review it. Because if they don't want to give you a copy of the contract and let you review it, I wouldn't sign it, or I would consider not signing it.
I will add to what Tim said. You don't have to read the whole contract. Hire the lawyer. It's the best money you will spend it. Don't worry if it costs $1,500 or $700. in the end of the day, it's not who you marry, it's who you divorce.
Yes.
And you're signing the contract
Yes.
for 3 years lease, 5 years, and 10. Make sure everything that's why they have the job. Those are the smart people. They like to read paper. Let them. Just
I'm like,
let
read
them.
this. I just email everything.
Just let them.
I would never go into business without, I'm happy I'm married to a lawyer, because I don't think I would be able to even handle myself knowing that part is, it's hard for me. I read, like I said, I read slow. So that part is very hard for me.
Yeah.
But I can do the work. I can make everything look good. I can do whatever I need to do. I can do the talking. But when it comes to the paperwork, it's like, if you don't have the paperwork taken care of, also, you're out of gas, you're out of money. And then once you run out of money, you're out of business and you lose all that inventory. And when you close and lose all that inventory, people come in and they want to, it's like,
give you 2 cents.
They want to give you 2 cents, and knowing that you've just invested.
Yeah.
Your friends, your family, doesn't matter who they are. They will come. It's like you're already bleeding, and they'll come to pull the rest of the blood out of you.
That's right. That's right.
It's horrible to say, but it's like they don't come and they say, "Hey, let me help you. Let me support you. We know you're closing. Let's see what we can do, and we'll buy your stuff." No, they come and they just it's like they have an IV in you, and they just suck. They, instead of putting in the nutrients, they're taking the rest back out.
So the advice so far is, number one, put a contract in writing, if at all possible. Have it in writing. Have the terms definitive, and so everyone is on the same page as to what's being signed and agreed to. And then have someone review it. If it's for the payment of money, especially a large amount of money, if it's for a large, house or a car, just have someone review it if you can, and always ask for a copy. But what happens if you think you're going to get involved in a dispute? I mean, I will tell you. Let me tell you one quick story about another case I'm involved with right now, and Antoinette knows about it. But I have a client who they're seeking to foreclose on a large property of his, and the contract documents, the various loan documents. There have been lots of different loans and modifications over the years for this piece of property that's valued at a little over $70 million, and they're seeking to foreclose on it. And we had a hearing recently. And what really helped us to win the hearing was a single sentence in over 680 pages of complex legal documents.
And he's always the one to catch it.
A single sentence that I raised with the judge, and the judge agreed that we had presented sufficient information so that he could not rule against us. I mean, and this, I spent I don't know, 2.5, 3 days just reading this dry. It's like 700 something pages. When I started saying that to the judge, he started laughing. So, but literally, this whole hearing that we just went to just recently, where they could have foreclosed on a $70 million piece of property, we were able to prevent that from happening because of a single sentence in the contract.
I was like, what % did we get of this? Yeah, no, he's a client, so we don't get that much. It was just a win.
Yeah, it's just a win.
It's just a win for a client. We're not getting any of that.
It's just a win for now. But anyway, that just goes to show you that and most people don't read these contracts because they're just long and boring.
Yeah.
I have a question. So most of the contracts, once you go to the commercial space or renting the house, lease space, doesn't matter. There are standard contract. And my question is like this, because I'm also a realtor and it may help to other people. Can you do to the commercial space an addendum? So when you meet the landlord or realtors, whatever they promise you on the day that you shaking the hands and verbally agreeing on things, can you do with whoever it is the addendum and you putting in the PowerPoints this, and I would recommend in the most detailed as you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not answering the question. I'm just agreeing with most detail. That's all I was agreeing to.
You can certainly amend or add an addendum. The amendment is basically changing something within the document. Usually the addendum is adding something to it. But either way, yes, you can. And I think with your lease, we did an addendum or something like that to add. Something else comes up and you say, well, we didn't think about that. I think one of it was the condition in the lease that we had to replace her air conditioner system if it broke down.
Yes.
And I said, I'm not fixing your, $6,000 unit up on the roof.
That is not our property. It's not our place. This is your thing.
And so what we did an addendum to identify that.
So the addendum is something you guys recommending to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can always do it at any time as long as everyone agrees to it.
And they always come and they do scare tactics also. That's what I've learned about the landlords. They scare you. They're like, oh, because they know you're not reading all that stuff and they know you're dependent on someone. Yeah. And usually they have their own lawyers that are like in their back pockets. So they do, oh, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And really you're not supposed, that's not your responsibility. So as soon as the landlord used to come to me and say, you're responsible for this, I just call my lawyer. I'm like, am I responsible for that?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to do QuickBooks, this and that, and and pay the rent and and sell and do hair and do all these different things. And then they're coming to scare you.
Yeah. Well, that's
now I want to get married to lawyers. That's the best.
Yes, it's business referral lawyers. Business, especially if you want to be in a business. That's what you want to. You want to marry a business.
You don't want to marry the criminal defense lawyer. You might not need. Hopefully, you don't need him. But
anyway. If you marry a criminal defense, I mean, I guess you only need a business.
That's right. That's right.
So, there's always a pro and cons.
What can we do? Yeah.
So here's another tip. If you've entered into a contract and you start to have some sort of disagreement about its terms with the other person or the other side, I think, Katrina, you're right. It's really good to have someone, like a lawyer, just to sit down and take a brief look at it and listen to your story for half an hour, 15 minutes, and to give you a way, like, which way do you think which way he thinks or she thinks you should go? Because what a lot of people do is they try to handle the dispute themselves. And then what ends up happening is they end up sending emails back and forth.
Keep going. There's a phone ringing somewhere.
Something's ringing. Anyway.
I'll be back.
So,
keep going. Keep
going.
Right. We can still do this thing. Keep going.
So anyway, where was I before that phone stopped ringing or started ringing?
They want to do it on themselves.
Yeah. People they get involved in a dispute with whatever. Let's say they get involved in a dispute with their landlord, and rather than having someone look at the document and kind of giving them a little advice, and it is a good investment because usually
hire the lawyer.
The couple hours worth of time that the lawyer is going to spend on it can save you tens of thousands of dollars if the litigation gets started.
Just the aggravation, team. Just the aggravation. It's peace of mind. It's priceless. Peace of mind. It's priceless.
Yeah.
Everything scares me when it comes to paperwork.
But also people make mistakes, and this is like kind of pre-litigation planning is. If I think I'm going to get involved in a litigation, I want to sit down with my lawyer because I want him to tell me or her to tell me that don't send any emails, don't try to handle it yourself, don't offer anything, because those emails come back to haunt you. And I've said it before on this show, and I say it to all my clients, especially the criminal defense ones, what I used to handle years ago. If you don't want a jury to read it, don't send it, because so many times emails and text messages in today's world are used, and sometimes they're not favorable for you because you did something that you probably shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to know what you should and shouldn't be doing if litigation is on the horizon. So,
because that's the next step once you mess up is litigation and trying to get your money back. I wanted to tap into different contracts that people deal with. So what makes a contract legal? Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
So there's a collaboration partnership contract.
There's all types of
like leasing, renting, business space.
Let's how about you're a small business owner. How about if someone wanted to be your partner?
Oh yeah.
And you decided to we're going to join up. We're going to create a little limited liability company. Let's say an LLC. What do? Well, you're going to need an operating agreement that's going to spell out all the do's and don'ts and all your obligations and rights and responsibilities as a member of that LLC. Same thing in partnership agreements. People start businesses. And what happens is I'll give you another example. A gentleman called me not too long ago. He started his own construction company, and then he became friends with a guy, and the guy kind of worked for him a little bit, and all of a sudden they became partners. Mm-hmm. No agreement, no operating agreement, no partnership agreement, nothing. And now the guy who called me, the one who started the company, was out sick for a while, and the other guy and his wife are trying to kick him out and take over the business.
Yeah,
that's very sad.
And I said, where's your partnership or operating agreement? Oh, we don't have one. So I said, so what do you do in this case? He's asked, what do you do in this case? I said, I don't know. We'll have to, have to look at the statutes and see, but it creates real problems. And so
you got to look at all the text messages, right?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, we did.
That's very scary. That is very scary. To build a business from the scratch and then let someone in, and then that person will take away from you. I heard several stories.
Yeah.
It's not who you divorce from, because
but sometimes you can know
in the
them.
beginning.
Like you can come in and you know them, and they're still. It's like they change.
Money changes people.
They change.
Unfortunately.
Tim, I've seen him walk away from so much. They're like, you can have it. I can't.
I don't want to deal with it. Bye. Nice talking to you. Yeah.
Remember the client? There was one client he had, and the client.
I know what you're talking about.
No names, Antoinette.
No, I can't even remember his name. I'm trying to remember how he looked. It was short guy. He was dating a taller woman, beautiful.
Yeah.
And he put because whatever was going on, he put everything in her name.
Well,
he was like, put it in her.
Because I was representing him because creditors were after him for not paying his bills, a lot of bills. And his position was that he had no assets because the two businesses that they owned and ran,
it's in his wife's name,
were his wife's, and he just helps her out. He doesn't take a salary, didn't get paid. He was doing it on just because he wanted to help his wife out. The house was in her name, the car was in her name, the bank accounts were in her name, so he had no assets. He had nothing. He was judgment proof, nothing to go after. Until she caught him cheating.
No. You didn't tell that. The part was, we don't care about the cheating part yet. The part is he did not pay his bill to Tim.
Oh, no, he did not.
Yes. And it was a substantial amount of money where I could have been traveling on jet skis. I could have been, scuba diving.
We could have taken a few trips on the amount that he owed me. It stuck me with at the end. And so I fired him.
Karma is a
bitch.
Thank you.
So he was then caught cheating by the wife. And of course, I was monitoring the divorce proceedings through the clerk's docket, like a little snoop.
Yeah.
And I learned that his position was that, well, what about those are my assets, those are my businesses. And the wife had all of his deposition testimony under oath.
Yes.
All of his affidavits submitted that he owned nothing. And she basically got everything.
I love this story. Yeah, I love the second part of the story.
That's why I said you can't miss the middle. You got to tell them.
He came out. No,
it's worked both ways.
He came out one morning to get into his car, and the car had been towed. The wife had it towed out of the driveway when he was sleeping. So anyway, you got to be careful.
Yeah. You can mess. In other words, you can mess with the legal deal bullshit, but you cannot and you should not mess with your own wife.
Don't mess with a woman.
Oh yes.
And just a
angry woman. It's a danger woman.
Ooh, anyway.
No, an injured woman. Because he injured her.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the funniest jokes I heard. What is the difference between an angry woman and a terrorist? With the terrorist, you can negotiate.
That's right.
That's true. You can't negotiate.
With the woman,
no, do not. Especially if you injure her and you anger her. No.
We're not all like this, though.
No, but she deserved it. She deserved every penny. I thought
she owned everything according to him.
And she seemed, when I've met her a couple of times, she seemed very nice.
She's very nice.
Yeah. But why would she's loyal beside your side. Why are you cheating?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
So don't cheat.
Or cheat together.
Don't get cut.
No. Or cheat together. Do it together.
Okay.
Or have a contract or something.
Have a contract. Or call your lawyer. Or better yet, pay the lawyer you own.
Yeah. That's right.
Because he's gonna hunt you in a divorce.
Yes. That was very good.
We have we discussed the employee contract agreement. Did we do that?
Most people don't have an employment agreement because Florida is an at-will state. So in Florida, you can be fired for a good reason, a bad reason, for any reason at all, basically. If your hair is too blonde, they can say, you know what, I think your hair is too blonde, you're fired.
So if you have one little tiny tattoo right here, you can.
But you can also get
but you can also
sue for anything.
But you can't be fired if it's in violation of some law, some statute. But for a good reason, bad reason.
So find out what law that is, because the laws are being changed around. So you can be.
Most places don't have employment agreements, especially like in the service industry and stuff.
You remember?
But then again, that whole thing about you can be terminated for a good, bad, any reason also means that you can leave for any time you want. And so they could be on their busiest day with the boat show in town. And you could be the head guy, the head bartender. You can say, you know what, I'm leaving. Bye. And they
what
can't do
about the
anything
2 weeks?
It's polite.
You're being
polite.
Or,
because you want the reference.
unless you have a written agreement that says you have to give 2 weeks, because then if there's a written agreement and you don't give them the 2 weeks, they could sue you for damages if they lost money as a result of.
Yeah. Oh, so the company can sue the employee.
Possibly.
I like that. I like that.
If you have a contractual obligation to give them certain notice and you break it, and as a result they lose money. So the one thing about contract law is that there's a breach of you have a valid contract. Mm-hmm. It was breached, meaning it wasn't followed by one party or the other. But then you have to prove damages as well, and so that's the whole other aspect. A lot of people say, "I'm going to sue someone." I'm like, you didn't suffer any damages.
Yeah.
So you can sue all you want. You're not going to collect everything.
What about this? I hear, because I'm a cosmetologist, and I hear someone was saying a salon made them sign a contract where they can't work in a certain distance.
Oh, yeah.
So is that a contract? Do they have to sign that, or that's something that they really can't make someone sign that?
It's a non-compete agreement.
Is that
and they're enforceable.
Okay,
written non-compete agreements are enforceable, but there are certain limitations, geographic limitations, time limitations. You can't say you can't work in this industry for the next 10 years. Usually 2 years is pretty reasonable.
Okay.
But then it's also, we had in one of the big cases I had with the nutritional company, that was an issue, the terms of a non-compete and whether it was breach and whether or not these guys could go. The way it was written, they couldn't work in anything. They couldn't even go and sell coffee anywhere in the whole world. So.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah.
So did that contract, did they hold them to them, or did you guys break it? Or did you guys?
No, I think that we ended up getting that claim knocked out. Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh.
They still got hit at the end, but anyway.
I know you're not a trademark lawyer, but there's also trademark brand and protection contracts, and there's custom orders and special contracts, which I don't know what a custom order is.
Well, those are
your custom or made order item. Oh, your custom items. Yeah.
I don't know if there's custom order, but I don't know if you do anything with people overseas or anything like that. But one of my clients had a bunch of furniture made overseas, and it was custom for his hotel. And that ended up blowing up into a big mess. We finally got it resolved, but the furniture is still somewhere in Spain, and it's all resolved. But again, that's those specialty contracts are for, I want you to buy, I want you to sell me certain types of specialty goods that I'm needing for my specific needs or business. And so, and those can get pretty detailed, because now it comes back to, again, what did I order and what was ultimately delivered. And so,
oh goodness, what was ultimately delivered? Those are the ones.
Because sometimes what you get is not what you asked for.
Yes, especially when you order online. What is this?
Yeah.
You ever see those little YouTube videos of what I ordered, a picture of what I ordered and what I got, and then the person puts on this outfit and is like, "What is that?" It's a Crocus bag.
Yeah.
When the people deliver the furniture and it's a toy furniture. And that was the funniest one I saw.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we figure out how to get businesses back in the United States where we can go and look at our stuff and try it on and feel it and feel the texture and all these different things and know what we're buying. Instead of just trusting them like, oh, I'll trust you. I'm sending you my money. I'm going to trust you to send me what's right.
Yeah.
And the tricky part on that part,
you can't return it.
Your return going to cost you half of what you paid.
Yes.
And then it's going to take X amount, and it's completely not worth it.
And they manipulate, and sometimes you lose your return money as well as what you paid for.
And you paid also the shipping.
Yeah. I'm
so
over it.
In the
as
end,
a business owner.
In the end of the day, you send in return and you rounding to zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so over it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, quick question. I wanted to ask, what lesson can you share as a business owner, what lesson can you share with our audience that you have learned that,
hire the lawyer, and when you do, listen to him, because my friend was reviewing that part, and like I say, don't waste your time, let's go over it. And that was and yes, create the addendum. I would recommend to create the addendum. And if you ask me, all my friends tell me, Katrina, you crazy, you're rushing. I'm Russian and I'm rushing.
You're Russian.
I'm both. I'm too fast for
Russian.
Yes. It somehow go together with Katrina. So yes. So I knew why I rushed, and because I was too close to December, and the signing the contract, sometimes it's send it to review for a couple of days. So the signing process, it can take 2-3 weeks. And that's why I was rushing, and that's why I was like closing my eyes on some of the terms, because I really want to grab the December. But for everyone who will be new, please listen to your lawyer. Do put the money, and I will recommend don't sign the lease for 10 or 20 years. Try the location, sign the 3-5 years minimum that you can, and with the extension of you can extend it for additional 5 years. But minimalize, listen to your lawyer, and please don't listen. Just listen.
Yep.
So everyone knows it's Women History Month.
It is.
And we're celebrating Katrina's Boutique. And it's also Women's National Day. What is it? Independence. What? No, not Independence.
It's in Women National Day.
Yeah, Women's National Day. Which it's horrible.
March 8th.
It's March 8th today. I did not know about this until I'm like, I'm hanging out with all these women in the book club, and I keep on hearing people like, oh, where's my flowers?
Oh,
you know what?
What about,
I gave, so let me let you guys, let me get you.
Let me get you some flowers.
So Katrina bought me these flowers, and I gave him flowers.
I can take him to choose for you the flowers. And trust me on that, and trust me on that one.
What about the last group of flowers I bought you?
Yeah, the last for Valentine's Day, he got me flowers. I don't want to go. I don't want to say they disappeared. I was at a fashion show at I don't want to say where we were, but we do go to the places where the horses get, play games. And I was the only one that got flowers.
On Valentine's Day.
One that got flowers on Valentine's Day. The flowers from the ground to my butt.
Wow.
I came back out after the fashion show. They were gone. I'm like, who takes someone's flowers?
Wait a minute.
And everyone knew it was my flowers. They knew it was my flowers. So I'm like, you know what? Breathe.
So the Valentine's Day, it was in February. We're in March, team.
Yeah.
What about the last flowers? I think it's been way too long.
Thank you.
That was easy carrying. That was easy carrying. It doesn't count.
Oh,
and it came from a woman. That's what I appreciate. It came from another woman.
Happy
she gave me my
Women's
flowers.
Independence Day.
They always say, always give another woman their flowers. Thank you.
There you go.
My pleasure. I should give it a bigger one.
No,
I'm like,
I love my
don't
flowers.
regret. This one was perfect for the office.
No, I said, please. When she gave it to me, I was like, please, no, it's going to die. She's no, just give it a little bit of this. I'm like, I'll give it to Tim. He was looking at flowers last night at Schulz Joe's.
See how the universe works. It's amazing.
Tim will take care of, because he was looking at these the same colors.
Same color. That's right.
You see, Tim?
Tim, here.
Oh, I that's right. I was telling Katrina before the show today. Yesterday, I had a little orchid in here, and it looks very nice.
You had one in here?
I had it out on the table out here in the hallway, and then I put it outside to get a little sunshine.
And disappeared.
Someone stole it.
So the flowers, the flowers doesn't.
We wanted to get a little sunshine.
The flowers doesn't work with you guys, so I think you should switch to diamonds.
Oh, I like diamonds. Diamonds.
Katrina.
Thank you, Katrina.
I'll go to Katrina's boutique.
Yes,
either way, it's make her happy. I know for a fact.
All right.
All right,
I think we're going to wrap it up here, and remember BOI reports. Remember the BOI report. March 21 is the deadline for small businesses to file a BOI report.
Yes.
What is the BOI report?
Oh, you'll have to talk to me in just after we finish this episode. I'll feed. I'm going to.
We did that episode last two times ago. It's very important. Must.
And also an update on the Shannon Atkins case. For those of you who don't know, Shannon Atkins was an individual who was arrested a couple months ago here in West Palm Beach.
He was our first
first episode we talked about, and he allegedly made threats online against President Trump, and so we try to keep people updated on the case. But the update was he was supposed to be arraigned on the 27th, but that was canceled, and now there's a new hearing coming up in March.
How smart is that?
So it wasn't very.
It wasn't. But we try to give the news. Another reason why we did it is because we kind of know him.
Yeah.
And yes, he's local. And I was one of his clients, or I used to do some of his content.
Yeah.
I was around taking his pictures, doing all these different things. It was fun.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. This is how I got so much better at what I do. I was there doing the videos, the pictures, doing his flyers, doing every little thing. So I learned a lot.
Well, listen, thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode.
Always trying to cut the show off. Am I finished? Did you ask us if we had anything else to say?
Okay, hold on.
Thank you.
I was going to make a little sound effect.
Yeah,
never mind. No.
Yeah, womp 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 on you. Okay, so guys, it's like I said, it's Women History Month, and our first guest today was Katrina's Boutique. Katrina, can you please
Thank you for having me.
tell us your address,
tell us your address
your
once again
location,
and where you're located.
and where you're located.
So you can follow me on the Instagram.
Please.
Just to take a quick peek, it's for men and women. Most of our stuff from Italy. The Instagram, it's Katrina.boutique. The address, it's a easy one, 300 Clamari Street, or 103 South Olive Avenue, West Palm Beach. You're going to see the big poster right there. I'm there standing. So you can't miss the store. We're trying to make it visible.
And
for the food traffic.
And her on if you check the Instagram, I did the little jumping and I was in the little
it was
dress.
pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, but Antoinette, she's pro.
And we are working on a fashion show, so we do need some models. Hopefully we'll be doing a fashion show soon with Pistache. And we hope to see you guys out there. Come visit, come see it, come
and grand opening. We are in the grand opening
on the 30th.
0330, March 3rd.
So show up. You never know what you're gonna win. We have door prizes. We have all kind of stuff. So those dresses are cute. Katrina's wearing one of her nice free champagne. Katrina's wearing one of her dresses right now.
Yep, there you go.
Can you see it? It's beautiful.
Yep.
If it's great for all body types. I would say it's comfortable. It's comfortable.
All right.
And you're not shutting me down. So we're also here at Timothy Schulz Law Firm.
I love
330 Clematis Street, Suite 116.
Oops.
If you would like to, send us an email. Let us know what topic, because we love to talk about different topics. What topic you would like to talk about, and we'll bring up your topic online, on air, and just give us some, something to talk about that you want to hear, because we'll just talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah. So if anyone has any ideas of any legal issues that you think are, would be of interest, not just to you, but other people, let us know by an email. And also, I think our button, subscribe is down below.
Subscribe.
So if you can click that, that'd be great. And thanks
We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So support. And then we can start doing giveaways once we get to 1,000.
All right. Well, thanks very much for joining in. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
So that was really good. I think we did really good.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. You guys funny. I enjoyed it.
Seriously, I thought we were